Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I'm Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 122 of our FC Isle of Man series, season 3 in the Premier Division, well and truly underway as we try and push towards maybe climbing up a little bit in the table and getting towards European football. We're a couple of games into the season. Of course, if you haven't gone and watched yesterday's episode where we introduced the whole squad, some tactical tweaks, pre-season results and played our first game of the league year, go and check that one out because it's going to give you so much more additional context to what we go through today. I'll give you a split second now to go and check it out. Go and have a look at it really quickly. Otherwise, there's going to be massive spoilers coming ahead right about now. Because if I was to tell you that the season was going really well so far, that would be a lie. We're going to jump straight in and see how we've done in the last few games. So first one, big one. I'm going to call this out early. Javier Aguirre missed training back at the start of September, about 2 weeks ago, as he was spotted leaving a nightclub. Now, this was during an international break, so it didn't impact really any games. I gave him another opportunity in the team, and he was garbage. When I was looking at the squad at the start of the season, I was thinking the likes of Aguirre might be a good time to cash in on him. He just came off probably his best season for the club, and a 7.25 average rating for the year in the Premier League itself. There are a couple of teams sniffing around. I thought, nah, let's hold on to him. Let's keep a proper number 10. Let's get that playmaker out there. We know he can do it at a Premier Division level. Let's see if he goes up to the next year or to the next tier of players in the division itself. And it just hasn't worked out for him so far. He's on 7.18 over his 6 appearances so far. That part's not terrible. But at the moment, he's our chief creator and the team isn't creating enough. If we go and look at our previous results, we of course beat Watford 2-0 on the opening day of the season, Ortiz and Rivera getting 2 great goals on debut. We then had a good game against Norwich. It was actually Aguirre who scored from a free kick for a 1-0 victory there. We then kind of tested out a new counter-attacking mentality for an away game at Anfield against Liverpool. It didn't quite work out the way I had hoped it would. It's a very basic, direct counter-attacking style. I thought it might work well against that Liverpool side. It didn't. We eventually switched to our positive mentality, and we did get a couple of goals back, but a 5-2 defeat wasn't great. We then had a 2-1 victory with our full reserve side playing against Chesterfield in the Carabao Cup. Good to rotate and get those players in. We've got another Carabao Cup game today in this episode. And then we got beaten again by Southampton. This one was a bit more frustrating because we were playing at home in an attacking structure, didn't create a tremendous amount. I don't think we saw much from Aguirre or any of the wingers in that match. Another heavy 4-1 defeat. We then drew 2-2 with Brighton, a game that twice we had to come from behind. Harvey Elliott getting a goal to put them together early. Larry Ortiz pulled one back in the second half. They went ahead through Miguel Garcia, and Jimmy Winter came off the bench to score an equalising goal in the 80th minute. Similar story against Leicester. We had to come from behind. We equalised in the 85th minute. I thought we were going to push on and maybe find a winner. We were on top, but we were literally with the last kick of the game. Jacob Hartley ran up one end and found a very good finish to give Leicester the 2-1 victory, which puts us currently 11th spot in the division, 6 games played, 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 defeats. One of the reasons for my frustration is that we're keeping a lot of the ball. We're creating key chances, but we're not seeing a lot of highlights. And maybe that's to do with the tactics. I have gone through and done a couple of little tweaks now. Our positive mentality has changed a little bit. We are trying to push people towards the roles that we want them playing in rather than their preferred ones, just to make that little tactical adjustment. Our attacking one isn't quite working and hasn't quite clicked the way we want it to. And of course, unfortunately, we have no real respite in the division itself. We've got Man United coming up, who are still second in the division, but the reigning champions from last year, who absolutely smashed the league early on. They lost last time out against Bournemouth, but prior to that, they were belting teams. 5 straight victories to start the season, all by more than 2 goal margins. So what we are going to do is we're going to give, first in the Carabao Cup, our backup players the opportunity to start, to try and have a look at those guys, because you don't see them much in episodes, the relative squad players. We'll see how they go, and as far as the cup competition is concerned, I'm happy to continue giving our backup players the opportunity to play and to stake their claim for a starting berth. The only player that's playing from the first team is Jose Cedron. We actually let go of Guillaume Benchot because we've got a really good bid. Groningen in Holland came in for a £7.5 million bid straight up. He's a backup player. We know he's not really going to hit that 4-star potential ability that he currently has. We picked him up for 600k 3 seasons ago. He was great for us in the championship. He did very well to keep us in the division the first year, but didn't really play much last year. And this season was really just going to be a backup, right back option. We have gone back into the market to bring one in. He'll join in January, but it does leave us a little bit light at right fullback for the time being. And then the other one that we're going to keep an eye on is Mariano Oru. I think we're going to try and give him a spell of games in the side, the Argentine number 10. We picked him up, of course, from Rosario Central last season, and he did quite well as a backup attacking midfielder. He hasn't really had an extended run of games in the side. You can see even joining us last season, in January. He only made 6 appearances. He hasn't got any goals or assists yet, but I want to try and give him a platform to try and succeed, because as far as I'm concerned, Javier Aguirre, he's done. Like, we might try and get rid of him in January. But if that doesn't work out, we can also do a bit of a tactical tweak and try and get Lua Barbosa playing as like an attacking midfielder just in behind the striker, and see if we can't work something else at the base of midfield to try and find a bit more balance, or at least a decent run of form. We'll see how it goes though. It might be a test environment. We might give Oru an opportunity against Wolves and then make a decision as to how we're going to approach the game against Manchester United. Tactically speaking, we're going to go attacking against Wolves. We should be beating a side like that at home, and then we might switch back to our positive mentality, keep possession a little bit more, a little bit slower in our play as well, to try and manage possession against what is a very strong Manchester United team. Magic of editing though, let's jump forward now. I'll go through the lineup quickly. So, as you guys can see here, we've got Brady in goal, coming in for, I think, his second appearance in the Cup this season. Warburton and Escobar, our starting defensive partnership from last year, currently playing as the backup defenders. Carlos Andre at left wing back, Cedron over at right. Leicester will anchor midfield alongside Cambridge, with Oro at the 10, Blore and Winter either side of him on each wing, and Scott Phillips leading the line up top. For Wolves, they're playing a 5-4-1, which I think they played when we played them in the league last season. Still got a couple of holdouts from the original database. Ben Godfrey still going at 35 years of age. Had quite the career. He was at Norwich for a few years, then he made his way to Arsenal. I think he played in the England squad for quite a while as well. Very good technical ability. Like, you can see all these ball-playing defender roles. 16 first touch, marking, passing and technique, tackling 17. A very classy looking defender. He's been at Wolves now for a couple of seasons, of course, in that squad that got relegated last year. Christopher Ayer, next to him, he's a deep line playmaker, of course, at Celtic at the start of the database. They're going to play him as a defender today, as a stopper alongside Ben Godfrey. It's a very good passing backline, but also a very old one. They're both 35 years of age. Hopefully we can get in behind them. Over at left back, they've got Connor Pleer, now 34 years of age. He's had quite the career. He's at Shakhtar Donetsk and then at at Leicester for a little while, then at Barcelona for a bit, then Arsenal, Norwich, and now finishing off his career at Wolves. He's a decent option at right wing back. They're going to play him on the left, which might be a bit of a bonus for us. And then Thiago Araújo, 32-year-old Benfica player. Looks solid, nothing spectacular, nothing that I think we need to be super worried about, but it's a team that has the ability to kind of cause us some problems, but I think we can get beyond them. Assertively, we're going to say, go out there and enjoy yourselves tonight, and really, I just want to try and pick up morale as much as we can. We haven't started the competition well, we haven't started the season well. We need to get a good run of form and a good run of wins to get that winning mentality back in the group. Got a highlight here, it's with Cambridge and Warburton at the top of the box. Thought Warburton might have lost out, but he manages to win it back in a good area. Back across now to Oru. First chance for him to really pull the strings a little bit, playing that playmaker role. Finds Winter on the right. He's going to try and get into the box now. Can he square it up to a teammate? Instead, he goes to strike himself. Jimmy Winter. Second goal of the season for him. And a good assist from Mariano Oru. To be fair, Winter did all the work for it, but it'll still chalk up that first assist for Oru in this match. Just plays along to him. He's only diminutive. Like, he's a tiny little guy, but he does very well. And Winter skips past one challenge, smashes that into the roof of the net. The keeper got his angles all wrong for the 1-0 lead early on in this Carabao Cup fixture. There's an immediate highlight here from kickoff. Godfrey plays Hussein, who I think is the Hussein that used to play for us. Gavrilich is surely offside, and it does indeed get brought back for the offside decision. Throw in here, right-hand side for Wolves, to be taken by Astiz, the fullback. Ball into Martin, and Gavrilovic, I think is the name, has a strike. It manages to somehow hit the post and go out for a throw-in. Gavrilovic with a free kick now from distance. Escobar with a good header away, and Ori's going to get the opportunity to carry the ball forward here. He's got men left and right of him. He's going to look for Teddy Blore on the left-hand side now, who can cut back in on his right foot, but unfortunately the drive just wide at the far post. Deep throwing for us here starts with Carlos Andre, still a wonder kid, still a fullback that we might try and get back into the side if we don't improve our form, fitness, and win rate at the moment. Ball goes to Escobar on the right-hand side, back into Oru now, who's been a bit busy in these highlights that we've seen. Now Teddy Blore coming forward. He's got support around him. Goes deeper ball in towards Scott Phillips. Falls to Cambridge at the end of the area. And then he goes to Leicester, back to Cedron. We just need to work this triangle right until we find a forward pass. Nice little ball into Cambridge. Looks for Winter over on the right-hand side. What can he do from this area here? Connor Pleer's lost out to Winter, who stays on his feet. Square ball to Leicester again. Now Cambridge. Back into Oru. Strike from distance has gone in. So he's got his first assist and his first goal on the side. Maybe that's what we needed. Maybe we just needed to give him a platform against a lower league side for him to find a little bit of form. And the way he's currently going, I would say that we're probably going to give him an opportunity against United and see how he goes. It's a good strike. I would say the keeper probably should have done better, but I will take the goal for the 2-0 advantage every time out. And spade's a spade. Like Carabao Cup, not high on our priorities list. We really want to focus on a good league finish this year. If anything additional happens in terms of cup runs and the revenue that comes from that, we'll of course take it, but it's not a priority. We've got about 10 minutes remaining in the half. We're going to use our demand more shout, to which nobody has responded positively. And at half time, we've had 7 shots, 4 on target, 74% possession for a 2-0 lead. Wolves, 5 shots, 3 on target, 26% of the ball. I'm going to say I'm very happy with the way things are going. Keep it up, lads. And I guess the added benefit of being up at the moment is that we can rotate a little bit here and try and get some of these guys that might play against United in a few days off the park so that they can have fresh legs going into the next match. Ball across here to Kelly. Gavrilovic is getting forward again. Arajiao, strike from distance. That's a hell of a goal. Can't even really be that annoyed about it. He took it down well. He struck it from a fair distance. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. It's Hosseini across to Kelly. And then they look for a long ball over the top for Gavrilovic. Warburton does quite well. And Arajiao just takes one touch, gets it out from under his feet, smashes that with his left peg. Keeper could do nothing about it. Wouldn't matter if we had our first choice lineup out there. No one is saving that goal. Throwing now right hand side. Astiz, the overlapping fullback. If they equalise here, I'll be quite frustrated. Arajiao again, looking towards back stick. Escobar with a good header away. Konoplea, now to Arajiao again. Gets back on his left foot. It's another excellent goal. Where has this come from? I think Wolves had no highlights in the first half, and now they've had 2 absolute cracking goals in the first 3 minutes of the half. It's a good ball in there. A good header away from Escobar. Cambridge can't get there, and Konoplea just puts it back to Arajiao. Gets back on his left peg. You would think after the first goal, we'd maybe switch on to maybe stopping that and taking that away from him. But Carlos Andre a little bit slow to get to him, and it's a good finish again, curling around the keeper. Corner would be taken by Bloor now towards front post. Warburton was in there. It's going to come back out now to Arajiao, who's involved in everything at the moment. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. Gary Lester is on a yellow card. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Want it back there briefly, but the clearance is only going to go as far as Isaac, the fullback for Wolves. Gavrilovic, Konoplea, Hosseini splits it out to Astiz. Can he get the ball back in here? Arajiao again. Thankfully goes back to Hosseini at the base of midfield. Konoplea, just don't overcommit, boys. Just let them play it around. We'll get it back in a good position shortly. Leicester with a good tackle. Falls to Cedron. Back in now to Jimmy Winter. Tries to beat his man. Gets around the fullback. And he's dragged a centre back across. If he can find the right ball in the middle. It's towards Teddy Bloor and just over the crossbar. Alright, we're through the hour mark now. We've come back into it a little bit, but let's really put our foot down and go attacking. And as far as average ratings are concerned, Bloor's having a poor game. Might bring on Larry Ortiz, and Phillips hasn't had a great game either. We'll bring on Rivera and see if we can't get them some form. Got 4 players on yellow cards, so we might hold on to that last sub and just see in case we do run the risk of going down to 10 men. I'm going to use our Get Creative shout as well for the last 30 minutes here. We'll see if we can't try and push on and find a winning goal. I'm sure Wolves will feel the same way. Throwing now, right-hand side for Wolves. Starts with Astiz. Hosseini now in possession. Cuts back inside to Arajiao, who has been all over it and is kind of on his way to a hat-trick, if we're being honest. Azure, back to Godfrey. Long ball forward. Escobar with a good header. It's fallen to Arajiao again. Just stand him up, boys. He's put a good ball in behind, and Kelly's found the finish. First goal of the season for Matt Kelly. You're like, we were all over Wolves in the first half. I don't know what their halftime team talk must have been like. Long ball forward, and that's Escobar with a good header. Arajiao just skips past the challenge again, and then he weighs a perfect ball in behind for Kelly, who just comes flying out and slides that one near post from within the 6-yard box. Maybe that time you could have said that the keeper could have come out a little bit quicker to intercept the ball in behind. Corner now to try and bring it back. Ortiz puts a good ball in. It's brought back across. Cambridge will tidy up at the base of midfield here. Now Cedron, can we work a ball back into the box again? Instead, no, we go all the way back to Brady. If you get it from the right, work it to the left. He's gone long in the middle. Thankfully, Oru does well to bring it down and turns, but then gives it away in traffic to Martin. Don't go through him, Leicester. Just stand back. We don't have to do anything crazy. Ball in here for Kelly. Now Konoplea and Hosseini. Isaac forward. Winter with a good header. Now Cambridge recovers in midfield. Got numbers trying to break forward on both sides of the pitch. Ortiz, fresh off the bench. Can he beat his man and get the ball across? Gets one in towards Rivera. It's an excellent finish from the Mexican striker. And the 2 subs combine. Ortiz with the cross. Rivera with the header. Only his 2nd goal of the season. You, of course, saw his debut goal in yesterday's episode, but he's been pretty sparse since then. Still getting used to that pressing forward role I'm asking him to do. And he's only little as well. It's a good header for a small man. And Ortiz again adds to his assist tally for the year as well. 10 minutes remaining. We're going to try and gamble a little bit and make that last sub. Let's do it. Carlos Andre has struggled. We'll bring on Medjadu. And we're also going to say, I have faith in you. And then I think we will also use a Get Creative shout with about 10 minutes remaining. Let's see if we can't push on a little bit further. Everyone seems inspired, which is great. But really, we should be beating teams like Wolves, especially at home. 5 minutes of additional time to be added on. Is there any late drama in this one? It doesn't look like it. We're going straight to penalties, which means we're just going to go auto pick. Everybody can figure out how they're going. And now we just wait, fingers crossed, and see if we can't win the raffle that is effectively the penalty shootout. Rivera immediately saved. He was our best penalty taker and we've missed it. So I'm not exactly thinking we're going to get through this. They've got Edo. I don't think it's Samuel. Surely he'd be about 50 now in this game universe. They've, of course, scored theirs. Mariano Oru, who has had a good game, did get a goal and an assist in this one. Can he find the finish from the penalty spot? Good penalty as well. Smashed it to the left-hand side. Keep it in and move. Aya now on his right peg. Goes straight down the middle. Paul Brady maybe could have done a little bit better. It'll be Jimmy Winter with the chance from the spot to try and get us level. Thankfully, the keeper got out of the way. He went straight down the middle. All the keeper had to do there was stand still. It's Kelly who got the final goal for Wolves on his left foot. Goes straight down the middle. Brady that time with the save. So we have an opportunity here to take an advantage for the first time really in this shootout. It's going to be Ortiz, who did well when he stepped off the bench. Again, go straight in the middle. The keeper keeps jumping out of the way of them, which is helping us tremendously. Gavrilovic, who looked busy. He was involved in a couple of different things. Not getting on the score sheet today, though. Good penalty. Hard and left to the low right-hand side of the keeper. There'll be Mejdu, another of the subs coming off the bench, the ex-Arsenal junior. Oh, it's saved again by the keeper. So really, we need this penalty to get saved for us to keep it in it. Otherwise, we're out of the Carabao Cup, which isn't devastating, but we need to be beating sides like Wolves. We're in some trouble if we can't get beyond championship level teams. It's going to be Astiz, the right back, to take it. Paul Brady has saved one already in the shootout. Can he make it another and keep us in this one for another goal? And no, he cannot. So we're out of the Carabao Cup. What an absolute crock of shit. In the end, 13 shots, 6 on target, 73% possession, 8 shots, 6 on target, 27% of the ball for Wolves to go through. Aragiao getting the Man of the Match award, an 8.9 match rating. 2 excellent goals, to be fair to him. Assertively, far from pleased. Let's go with that. And I guess if you wanted to focus on a positive, Carabao Cup's gone now. We could focus a little bit on the league itself and try and get good results in that one before the FA Cup starts. As far as the squad's concerned, we're going to clear out everybody. And we've only got 3 days until the game against United. So we're going to give everybody, I think, just a rest day, just to see how they get on. And we're also going to make a tactical switch. We'll stick with positive, but I'm thinking maybe we go a deep line playmaker on defend, a deep line playmaker on support, and then an attacking midfielder on support. And we might go with Lua Barbosa playing at the 10. We'll see how that goes. It would mean there's a Leicester and Henry midfield base, which is very defensive, but they are both excellent players. So magic of editing, we're going to jump forward, look at the 2 lineups for the United game now. Right, so a little bit earlier screen than we would usually come back to. This is the structure that we're going with. I've put everyone in the roles that I want them to play. So we're going to go and try and go with a bit more of a balanced defensive line and a defense-first mentality for this match. We're also going to have Leicester come in as a deep line playmaker on defend. As we mentioned, it means Henry will play as a deep line playmaker on support, which is his preferred role. And being a left-footed player, he's also now... Oh no, he's both-footed, so strong and very strong. Very interesting. I didn't notice that. I thought he was a lefty, but he will be playing on that other side, which gives him a bit more versatility as well. Ortiz will play at left wing. Peacock will play on the right. Barbosa will play as this attacking midfielder on support behind Rivera, hopefully getting forward into the box and helping him create a couple of chances here, there, and everywhere. I've left Aguirre out of the squad entirely. We're not going to try and rush him back in because he's annoyed me effectively. But it is the might of the reigning champions, Manchester United, that we have to try and overcome here. They've still got an incredibly strong squad. Lloyd Doyle, the English goalkeeper, 28 years of age now. He's been just a world-class keeper really for nearly the last 10 years, I think, in game. We did play against him at Millwall when he first came through. United picked him up and he's gone from strength to strength there. Just some absolute phenomenal stats for a goalkeeper here. Definitely amongst the best players in the world. Arauz, they're saying, is the highest average rated player they got for the season. 30-year-old Bolivian. Is that? Yes, it is. They've had him for quite a few seasons as well. He's had a very good season, an 8.0 average rating for the year thus far. He'll play alongside Serge Guardiola, their big signing from Valencia from a couple of seasons ago. Just an absolute beast. They're playing him in midfield, even though he's a striker by trade. But I think you look at the stats, there's not really many roles that he wouldn't be able to fulfill in a team. A proper world-class footballer. And then the other one we should probably keep an eye on is Samuele Benizzi, who, of course, spent a season with us back in the Championship. We picked him up from Cagliari for $4 million. We sold him to Man United for $5 million the year after. We just couldn't say no. He wanted to go, and really the board wasn't going to let me refuse a profit even one season later. He's had a couple of appearances against us throughout the last couple of seasons in the Premier Division, but really, I think him starting kind of signifies that they are rotating just a little bit for the match against us. Yulborg up top here is their leading scorer for the season. He's already got 6 goals in 6 games this year. 17 dribbling, finishing, and first touch is very impressive. And he will likely play as an advance forward off the shoulder. 18 decision making, 19 off the ball. Physically just a beast. We might be in some trouble here. But there's no pressure on us. Calmly, let's just say nobody expects us to get a result, so enjoy playing without pressure, and everyone's responded positively to it. We have, I think, once gotten points against United in the last 3 seasons. Hopefully we can get some more today. They've got the ball here. Long one forward towards West. Yulberg's one out against 2 defenders. He's just going to try and bring them in. He skips past Mokhtar like he wasn't even there. Cuts one back for Cardio, and thankfully, just over the crossbar. It looked like maybe Mancini had that covered as well, though. Corner now for United, 10 minutes in. Nacho with the ball in. Barbosa with a good header away. Someone's going to have to close down Vinicius Jr., the only real player in the starting lineup for the day. Thankfully, the drive from the wide area straight at Mancini, who does very well to save and hold again. And immediately releases Peacock on the right-hand side. We're going to see a highlight for ourselves here. Beats one man, cuts inside, looks for Rivera. Can he work the 1-2? Overlapping run from Cedron is quite good. Needs a good cross, though, into the box. He's gone back stick. Peacock's won it back and gone near post. And Peacock gets a second bite of the cherry, and Doyle does very well to save and hold. I do think it was going wide, though. So we're not entirely out of it. We have had a highlight, which is good. But, of course, it's Man United. They're going to have a whole bunch more opportunities before the game is out. Right, 10 minutes remaining in the half. We're going to demand more. See if we can't give everyone some focus through to half-time. We've immediately got a highlight, which is disappointing. Deluski, the right back, loses out to Ortiz, but stays on his feet and keeps the ball. Ortiz continuing to do a one-man press at the moment. Cardio, someone's got to get closer to. Barbosa goes across now. Vinicius Jr. heads it back across to Yulberg. Bruno Eduardo, overlapping fullback. No support here coming from Peacock on that wing. Needs to try and get closer to the ball. Otherwise, they're going to work the man advantage here. Cardio puts it back stick. Medjadu with a good header away. Pinballs around a couple of times. Cardio gets 2 bites of the cherry and a third from the edge of the area. Defense is right on him though, closing the ball down very well. Benizzi, Yulberg, now Nacho, Deluski. This is the overlapping issue, and Vinicius Jr. finds the finish from pretty much a dead angle. You could feel that coming there in that build-up play. They stayed forward, they kept possession, they didn't rush it when they recovered. Nice little triangle there. Yulberg, Nacho works the overlap with Deluski. And he just smashes that one back across Mancini with a good save, to be fair to Mancini. But Vinicius Jr. on his toes smacks that one back across the keeper on his left peg. And just before half-time, United have got the go-ahead goal. I think we will still stay on positive. I don't want to get suckered into going attacking too early against them. But at half-time, we've had 5 shots, 3 on target, 53% possession, 15 shots, 8 on target, 47% of the ball for United. Assertively, you've been unlucky so far. Let's go with that. And everyone's responded positively, which is great. But really, this doesn't put us in a good position. You'll have the top sides up towards 19, 18 points, and we'll still be sitting down here on 7 points for the year thus far, which isn't great. We're through the 3-hour mark now. Let's have a look at subs and what we can do. Peacock has struggled, we'll bring on Jimmy Winter, and Ortiz has struggled, we'll bring on Elliot Bloor. 2 like-for-like replacements for the 2 wingers there. Hopefully some additional legs, some fresh legs will help us out. We're going to use Get Creative as well, just to mix it up a little bit. Everyone seems inspired, which is good. Long ball forward here for the goal scorer, Vinicius Jr. Just stand him up, boys. He goes past Cedron like he's not even there and gets back on his right foot. Thankfully, he goes near post and Mancini had it covered very, very well. Deep free kick, Moya to take towards back stick, and Oguz has gotten the goal. Oguz Centurk, who I don't think I know much about. 26-year-old Turkish defender. Looks to be solid. It's just sloppy play at the back here. We just lost him in transition at that counter-attack. We've got enough men back there, and he might have even been a shade offside. Who was this player dropping too early? It was Arnaud Henry in midfield dropping off and just allowing them to keep that guy on side. Rivera hasn't had a great game. We'll bring him off for Scott Phillips. And let's see if we can't try and pull some sort of consolation back in the last 10 minutes or so. I'm also going to use our demand more shout. I'm not that upset about this one because United are very, very good. But like if we have real aspirations of finishing in the top 7 spots, we need to be performing a little bit better. Otherwise, we'll get torn apart in whatever Euro Cup we make it into. I'm going to say unlucky, boys. It would have been nice to win just to try and keep morale up, but this has not been a good episode in terms of points or performances. We're in a little bit of a rut, maybe. Does see us drop down to 13th spot, 7 games played, 2 wins, 1 draw, 4 defeats for a negative 6 goal difference, which is not ideal. I guess the only positive we can look at is we're still only 2 points off 10th spot and the top half itself. But you can very quickly see a gap forming between the top 9 sides, really, if you include Leeds and Southampton in with the regular 7, Leicester involved there as well. And we're only 3 points away from the relegation spot. Teams like Wolves, who I was very critical of being a championship level side earlier on, Phillips hasn't scored in 7 games, albeit they are off the bench, so I can't be too upset at him. And we now haven't won in 5 games consecutively. We might have to. When things aren't going your way, let's just clear out all these slots and let's see what comes through. It might be just a case of just hitting reset a little bit, going to our attacking structure, putting our counter-attacking structure back in, putting our positive structure back in, and then just clearing out all the players so that we don't have to worry too much about it. Sometimes that does the trick, sometimes it doesn't. I'm sure we'll find out by the next episode, depending on our form, fitness, whatever else, if it has actually seen any change in the team. And maybe I'm being too stubborn. Maybe I need to try and bring the likes of Javier Aguirre back into the starting lineup. We'll see. Maybe we have to kind of hit bottom or hit relegation spots before I start worrying about bringing him back into the fold. And I guess if you wanted to look at like a glass half full mentality, we've got Bristol who are in 19th and Brentford who are in 20th coming up. Both away games, but both definitely games we should be able to win. And then maybe in tomorrow's episode, we come back and do Tottenham in 6th spot and Everton who are down in 12th. Not ideal. We are in struggle street just a little bit, but United are a very good team. I shouldn't be upset about that one. And the Carabao Cup, it was our backup squad that played, and effectively Wolves still played a first choice 11. You would think in the league itself we could beat a team like Wolves without any dramas. Games will be coming thick and fast for the rest of the week. We will have an episode tomorrow, Thursday and Friday to try and get us through to the New Year period and start of the January transfer window. If you want to be kept up to date on those videos, you can subscribe to the channel. If you want to help celebrate, our poor results or Wolves getting through in the Carabao Cup, if you're a Wolves fan, you can drop a like on this video. That helps us get higher in search results when people look for Football Manager content. But more than anything, I just appreciate you guys watching. As always, I've been Sean. I'll see you all again in the mixer.